Hi, this is the lesson practice for two-step word problems about fractions of a group. I have to look at the notes because that's a lot. It's a mouthful. I really feel strongly that you need a lot of practice in this because the concept of breaking up something that's whole into parts and taking a few of those parts takes a little bit of practice in figuring out how to do this mathematically. So please join me as we begin our practice. First off, they've asked in the lesson practice, and I think it's important, to diagram each problem, then answer the question. So they want you to solve 3/4 of 24 checkers. And I'm going to just, see, I've got my pen here. I'm going to draw my purple. This is going to represent all of our checkers, okay? And here are 24 checkers total. And we're wanting 3/4 of them. So that gives me code that this needs to be broken up into 4 pieces. So if we had 24 checkers, we would need them broken up into 4, groups of 4. That's the first step, is to know that we need to break up into groups of 4. The other step is then we determine how many are 3/4 in the checkers. So let's begin. Let's first find out how much is a 1/4 of 24. And we determine that by saying 24 divided by 4 is 6. So 1/4 of 24 checkers is 6. I'm going to draw 1, 2. So 1/4 of 24 checkers is 6. Now we need to ask ourselves, what is 3/4? I'm going to draw all these in. Let's see. Got to make sure I'm drawing this correctly. So each one of these fourths is 6. I'm drawing this to just as representation. There's going to come a point where you won't feel compelled to draw all this stuff, and you'll do all of it pretty mathematically. But for today's practice, we're going to go that way. You have a good picture of what we're doing, why we're doing the math that we're doing. So here are our 24 checkers, and we want 3/4 of them, which would be, the amount would be this many checkers. Now, if we know that one group is 6, we want to have 3 groups. So we're going to say 6 is one group, the amount, and we're having 3 of those groups. So 3/4 is 18 checkers. And you're going to bear with me. So 3/4 of 24 equals 18 checkers. And notice this was our step 1, was to determine what the one amount was, and then step 2 was to determine what it is with 3 groups. Next thing, 2/5 of 30 students. I'm going to do this again. Here, I'm going to draw this out. First off, we determined, because of our denominator is 5, we're going to break this up into 5 pieces. And guys, don't laugh if I kind of am not totally even. Be gentle. I hope you get the point. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So as you can see, I've broken it up into 5. We have 30 students total. The question that we have to ask is, how much is one part? So we take our step 1 is to take 30 students, and we're going to break it up by this denominator. Break it up by 5. That will tell us how much is 1/5. And we do because we know our division, we know that 30 divided by 5 is 6. And once more, we have something that looks really familiar. Here are, guys, these are 6 little smiley faces, okay? They look a lot like checkers, but smiley faces up there. Now, if we know that 1/6 or 1/5 is 6 students, then we figure out that 2/5 is 6 times 2 is 12 students. We could take and fill out 6 in each, and that would represent our whole 30 students. Smiley faces on that one, okay? The next one is a science problem. Science and math go hand in hand, and I'm going to read it. The force of gravity on the planet Mercury is about 1/3 the force of gravity on Earth. How much less would a tire weigh on gravity if on Earth it weighs 42 pounds? So let's do this. So I'm going to show our tire here, and I'm not going to draw it in the circle, guys, because it would be a little tricky for my artwork. I'm going to draw it once more in this boring box, but guys, this is going to represent our tire. You can just kind of pretend like it has a little hole in there. And this weighs 42 pounds here on Earth. Now, if we were to go to the planet Mercury, the tire would weigh only this much, 1/3 of the weight. Pretty amazing. So what do we do in that situation? It's only going to weigh this much. So we're going to take and say 42 divided by 3. And this is really special. 4 can be divided by 3 one time. 1 times 3 is 3. Let's see, we subtract. We get 1. Then we bring down our 2. 12 can be divided by 3 4 times. So each one of these is going to be 14. So if our tire, if we were hanging out on Mercury and we went to pick it up, it would feel like we were lifting something that it weighs 14 pounds. Pretty amazing. Now the last question is, would the mass be the same? Why or why not? The mass is going to be the same. It's still going to have the same amount of mass, but the pull of gravity is different. So this is why on Mercury it would be 14 pounds. If you weighed, say that you weighed 82 pounds, 84 pounds, you would weigh, on Mercury, you would weigh 28 pounds. Is that crazy? Weight is the pull of gravity on mass. And this is why when we go to space, when we go to the moon, why you see astronauts floating and flying, because they do not have the pull of gravity pulling down on them like they do here on Earth. And it occurs, different gravity differentiations occur on all of our planets. So there you have it. This is a concept that takes a little bit of thought and practice. I know that you're going to rock it. If you need any help, please let me know.